6 Minutes Season 5. The Season of Unknowingness. The final chapter of the 6 Minute sequel.
There are kids in this world who are different. Special.
One of them found us.
And became family.
But her time ran out. And now, that girl is missing.
In this episode, I'll be breaking down the latest episode, 6 Minutes Season 5, Piece by Piece. Hey, Review Pop listeners, it's your Landon Mueller. We're here today talking about episode 35 of 6 Minutes Season 5. I thought this episode was really neat, what everything with Badger and Birdie and kind of hearing them go back and forth in an interesting sort of way I thought was really, really fun. Just seeing their whole dynamic, kind of the way they just interact with each other, especially after Birdie has become very suspicious of him, and, I'm really curious to see what will happen there, right? This was a bit of a shorter episode, but I really enjoyed it, and I think we're really just building on a lot, This whole island situation is super scary and interesting, and 6 Minutes is, of course, notorious for helicopters, so we'll just kind of dive into all of that in today's episode. But yeah, let's dive into it.
It'll be a breeze to start a fire. In the jungle. There's bound to be wood protected under the canopy. You sit right here.
Sid! I don't have legs! Jude, wait! Don't leave me! Jude, come back! Jude! There's a wave! Jude!
The idea that Jude might be abandoning Adam, right? Leaving him to the water is super interesting because he had made that promise to Adam, I'm not going to betray you, in the previous episode. And so I'm super curious kind of what exactly are Jude's intentions, right? Was he just setting up Adam all along just to, leave him in the dust or in the water per se? But I think it's super interesting, and it's kind of once again Adam feeling betrayed, and that's why he has such a hard time trusting people. But I'm always curious to see kind of what is Jude's intentions. He's such a mischievous and interesting character. And he's always kind of making a choice for a reason, right? He's always 3 steps ahead. Does he want to work with Adam? Does he not? Was he setting up Adam? I really don't know, but overall this clip is very interesting.
It sounded like you knew the person on the other end. And they knew you.
Really?
Which is pretty curious since you said you don't remember anything about your life.
Birdie?
Man up, Badger Brian. Who were you talking to, and who the heck are you?
There was a potential love, dynamic going on here, but now Birdie has made the decision to call out Badger, someone she's put her trust into. And I think that's super interesting, and it's hard to think of Badger as being a bad person, someone who is untrustworthy, and just, seeing Badger trying to kind of hide his true intentions here is huge, because, he's not a great liar, right? And I think, when he said the Coast Guard, I thought that was really interesting, just his kind of covering up for what he's really doing is huge. And I'm excited to see who is he working with, find out why he's working with someone else, and is it Whittier Corp, is it Angelica? We really don't know, but I think it's possible that it could be another big bad, right? Someone we don't know about, someone maybe even worse than Dr. Whittier or Angelica Graves, but this is huge.
I thought I told you to stay back!
We gotta work together, Casey. It's the only way we can steer this thing.
Fine!
Ready? You pull right and I'll push. Go!
Ah! It's working! We're heading straight for the island. We're getting closer.
I think it's really neat whenever Casey is, kind of mad or frustrated, right? Obviously there's a love dynamic going on with, Casey and Penn. They've been shipped, but at the same time, she can still be frustrated with Penn, right? We see here she told Penn to stay back, but ultimately, Penn knows what he has to do to help Casey. He wants to be there for Casey. And that's huge, right? He could have just listened to Casey and stayed back, but he chose to help her. And I think, it's always better when we have these characters working together. They make a great team, right? The baby, the bassinet, it is huge. And I really, really, kind of enjoy just them working together. Or I guess I should say the baby and the battery. But this is awesome.
No, it's just... I've always dreamed of being on a tropical beach. Not what I imagined. Although, it is kind of... Ah!
What? What happened?
Something just brushed by my leg. It's over there.
Help! Is that a
Human head!
talking head?
Adam is notorious for kind of not liking these two characters. He has always held a grudge against Wit Kids, but I think it'll be interesting to see the partnerships and alliances that form this season, right? Whether or not Adam will work with Casey and Penn. And I just love the idea, once again, of the floating head, or, Adam has found his way back into the water again, right? Dr. Whittier dumped him into the water, and now, again, Jude just leaving him to sink in the water. And I think this clip is really great. And I also love Casey expressing her feelings here and kind of saying, she's never been out on the beach before, and it's huge. She's been trapped her whole life at Whittier Corp, being held against her will. And it kind of reminds me of in season 1 when she had been so shocked to see the simplicity of a, family meal and what it's like to love another person in kind of that intimate sort of way.
What dreams are made of. Oh. Well, what do we have here? James and Monica Anders. I guess you will be joining me on my journey after all. Reverse, and off we go!
I find it very suspicious that Dr. Whittier is with, James and Monica here, and what does he plan on doing with them? Because we know ultimately he plans on going back to Whittier Corp to pursue something big. I think it has to do with the holiday project, right? And originally Adam was supposed to be involved in whatever he was going to do in Alaska. But now we have him with James and Monica. Could he kind of put them up for ransom? I don't know. It's Jude. We never know what his intentions are. Will he hold James and Monica against their will in some sort of way? And Jude has been so great this season, I think. I love whenever, like Jess had said on Rewind, him talking to himself and kind of just the evil side of him, and him just kind of saying his plans out loud. I think it is super villain-esque, and I'm really excited to see what Jude is gonna do in Alaska. But he was gonna get on this boat one way or another, and he ultimately did.
I may not have a body, but I have ears.
And sensitive wheel wings, apparently. Can someone explain?
No.
Hey, look! Why is the boat pulling away? Who's on board?
I think we're setting up these characters to be trapped on Neverland, right? And that is huge, right? They have Adam here, who is their way to connect to the internet, so maybe someone else will send a boat. But ultimately, we have James and Monica stuck on this boat with Jude, trapped, and I think that is huge. But, how will things go with all these characters being stuck together on the island? Because obviously I think Casey and Adam are going to go back and forth. They're not very friendly, and, Adam is once again notorious for hating wit kids. Someone is going to have to form an alliance, because ultimately they can't just be, survive stuck on this island. They have to get back home to Alaska, and they're going to do that one way or another, I think.
Any more than I like Jude stealing that boat and leaving me here.
Where did that helicopter come from?
Let's go! Hey! Let's go! Put me down! Casey!
Badger? What is he doing up there?
Ah.
He's taking Pen.
What a huge cliffhanger. So unexpected. I think, I just really find myself questioning Badger's intentions here. What is he going to do with Pen, right? Will he deliver Pen to some evil person? We know he's been communicating with some big bad. Whether it's Angelica Graves, we really don't know. Thank you all so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a 5-star review. Until next time, this is Landon saying peace, love, and time travel.